So in part 1 we have discussed about getting the results using Postman for our API, and we have created one method which is going to perform a create item action, and this is the video continuation to part 1. So once you select HTTP verb as post, and once you define the URL here, then you need to select raw, and here you have to provide a JSON object for the item which you want to create, and then you should press on send. So after selecting raw, we just need to select the format of object as JSON and then click on send. Okay, so once it processes the request, then it will provide us a new object which is now ID 2, and the name is walktalk, and its complete value is true. So this is how we have done a post request through HTTP using Postman, and we have called the API, and our new object has been created. If I just click here and say 2 and say send, so sorry, here we have to select get, so send. So here it's showing the item which we have just created. If we just click send now, it should provide us the list. So we have got ID 1, ID 2. So now this is we have tested get to do item by ID, get to do items, the whole list, and then we have also performed a post operation using our API, and we have tested it through Postman. Similar to post to do item action, we are now going to create another action called put to do item, which will perform an update operation. So let's do it. So here we have a put to do item, which is nothing but it is going to receive an ID as a parameter and an object as an item. Then it is going to check an ID with an existing ID. If it is not equal, then it is going to send a bad request response. Otherwise, through entity framework, it is going to update that value, and it is going to save the changes asynchronously. Okay, so let's do an update operation. So let's run our API and go to the Postman, and then in the HTTP verb select post, then in body let us give the object, let us provide our JSON object. Here actions, let us put. So in the Postman, after selecting put, give the URL, then provide an ID, and then this is the JSON object we are passing. That for ID 1 we are going to update the value as feed fish and is complete as true. Okay, let's say send. So we have put here a debug point. So here the login ID is 1. Here we have got a to do item which is 1, 2 and feed fish. So F10, of course ID is not equal to ID. So here we are performing the update operation, and we are saving it, and we are returning back. And if we now check with the get for this and say send, so now the ID is 1, name is feed fish, and is complete is true. So we just perform the update operation. Now we are going to add another method called delete to do item method, which is going to perform a delete action. So let's do it. So back in our controller, we are going to add a delete method, which is delete to do item. Notice that for every action, I am just writing HTTP verb just before the action name. So this is definitely going to communicate with this, and it is going to identify the web API, and the request will come to the relevant method. Okay, here we will be providing the ID, and then again, as per the ID, we will check whether that ID is there within the to-do items context, database context. If it is there, then we will remove it. If it is not, then we are going to return a response as not found. Okay, so very much similar. Just run the application, go to Postman. Here in the HTTP verb, select delete, and then here you have to pass the URL, and you need to define the ID, which ID you want to delete, and click on send. So if I just say get and send, so it is not showing anything because this is not found, and this is what the status we have got. So that means our delete action has run successfully. So in controller, previously we were having an item, so that's why we were able to fetch the value for that item. However, since we have now deleted it, so there is no item record available. That's why we have received this error. So I would like to thank you, all of you, for following this video, and hopefully you have learned something out of it. In our next video, we'll be calling our API using jQuery. So until then, take care. Goodbye.